8, 1993, and it's approximately 2 p.m. Paul Bonacci is going to talk to me on tape for the next several hours, I presume. Paul, would you step in here and take your place? Paul, you're doing this on a voluntary basis.
Yeah.
Okay. And no threats or promises were made to you?
No.
To get to have you talk and to discuss this matter with me?
No.
Before we begin, tell me when you were born.
August 3rd, 1967.
Your number?
509.
And explain to me what multiple personality is. Because you've been a multiple one yourself.
Yeah, multiple personality disorder is a disorder that people get when they've suffered traumatic events, usually when they were young children, usually stemming from sexual abuse or satanic ritual abuse. And it's when a person has two or more personalities living within a body and stuff, or usually it's more than that. And they each have their own lives, and they each sometimes they see each other as being, usually they see each other as being a totally different person. But some of them know that they're multiples or that there's other personalities within the same body, but the majority of the personalities do not, and the main personality usually has no awareness of the other personalities at all. Usually he's totally unaware of everything. He just has to live through life with everybody saying, "Why did you do this yesterday?" and he doesn't even remember yesterday.
How do you switch from one personality to another? Now, you were multiple personality, right?
Yeah.
How many personalities did you have?
Altogether there were about 121 or so.
Did each personality have a name?
Every personality has a name. Some personalities didn't have names, but they weren't personalities that were very active. Some of them held just a very few minutes of time altogether, and it was just to hold a certain event or a certain traumatic episode in life.
And why do people develop these? You said because of traumatic experience, but why would a traumatic experience cause you to develop another personality?
I haven't figured that out myself, but I think it has something to do with the fact that the main personality is unable to cope with it. It's so traumatic that you have to create a system so that the main personality can go on living without having all the problems, because normal people who get abused and stuff that don't create multiples and stuff usually have a lot of emotional problems, have a lot of physical problems and stuff, whereas a multiple, usually the main personality can usually go through life pretty simply, and nobody really notices it until the person starts getting older or switching behavior is so evident that there's not just one person there, that it's like you're dealing with several different people because they just change.
Does a person who's multiple remain multiple all their lives?
No. The multiple can become integrated. A lot of multiples, I think, go for co-consciousness, which is more like living with the other personalities, but everybody aware of what's going on all the time. But integration means that the personalities are totally gone, that you don't switch off from one personality to another personality, that one personality, usually hopefully it's the main person, all the other personalities integrate with them, and all their memories from all the other personalities go into that one person's memory, and the person learns to live with all of the traumatic events and learns to live in life and stuff without having to switch off to deal with daily events.
Are you multiple personality today?
Well, they say that I'll be a multiple all my life, and I have the ability to be a multiple and stuff, but I have no other personality, so no, I'm not.
Who says that you will be multiple all your life?
Well, that's what all the psychiatrists try and say, is that once you're multiple personality, you can integrate completely and stuff, but you always have the ability to dissociate into and create a new personality any time that's needed, which I don't know if that's true or not, because there's nothing that, after remembering my past, that anything in the future that could be any more horrible or any worse than what I've already gone through, so I don't feel like there's any need to ever have to switch back into that kind of a mode.
Are you saying that you're integrated now?
Yeah.
How did you become integrated?
That's mainly through the work with Pastor John and dealing with going through each of the personalities, finding out what caused the personality, and completely going through the personality, talking to it in my own, usually it was in my room and stuff, and convincing his personality and stuff that he can live better if he's living with the rest of us. And in the integration process and stuff, the personality, usually I can see it inside my head, because inside you have a visual of everybody. It's the other personalities and stuff. And they grow up and they kind of just merge with you. And all of their memories come with them and stuff. There's no longer any need to have that personality because you already know everything that the personality knows from you talking with them.
So when we talk in the next couple of days, as you remember things that happened in the past, is this going to be your integrated personality? How do I know that you're not going to go back into one of your other personalities and forget something?
Because there's no other personalities to come out or talk to. There's no other personalities you can, I can step into. And if I forget something, it's mainly because I just don't remember it at the time or something. Sometimes somebody will say something and I'll remember it later. Because after integrating with other personalities, I have all the information they have. Whereas before, the personalities could just come out and tell you like that. Now I have to think about like a normal person, which is a little bit longer, but I still have a little bit better than other people because I know how to, I filed all the memory and stuff. And I can just kind of switch into that type of it's like a file in my head and stuff. I can just kind of switch back and stuff and try and go into that activity or that event and pick out what it is that I'm looking for.
Now, you said that Reverend Morrow worked with you on your different personalities. Did you go one by one and identify each personality and then discuss that personality with him in order to become integrated?
Some of the personalities, ones that were more what I call the living alters, which is ones, I call them living alters because they're the ones that were living daily lives. I mean, they would like get up in the morning, one would, go to school or whatever it was. They're the ones that ran the day. And most of my life I was out between like 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That was my normal time for me as Paul to be out. And so it's like they were, we had to go through each one of them and talk to them. A lot of times they came out and talked to him, even though I don't think Pastor John knew. A lot of times he just talked to some of the other personalities. Sometimes I know he did. But yeah, I had to go through each one of them and discuss what created them in the first place. And main thing was I had to let them know that I cared about them and that I didn't hold any anger, toward them or anything for anything they had done. And because a lot of them thought that I'd be angry with them when they found out everything that was going on and stuff. And so I had to deal with that. And main thing was I think the ability that I wanted to be integrated, because I didn't want to go on living a life when I didn't even know what was going on. It's like everything kept switching on me. It's like people would tell me something to do one day and a week later I was ready to go do it, and they were like going, well, we told you to do that last week. And I was like, I don't remember. It's like, that was just this morning, wasn't it? No, it's last week. I was like, okay, I thought they were going crazy or something, when actually it was me that was not really crazy, but just switching, because it's not psychotic. I wasn't psychotic. I didn't, it's not like I went out and did things that, like an abnormal person would do.
So, you feel that now, as an integrated person, you have full knowledge of all that occurred with all your personalities, and you can act as one individual.
Yeah.
Paul Bonacci.
Yeah.
And without any difficulty. So as I ask you questions in the next several days, and we're going to be together for several days, and as you answer these questions, this is Paul Bonacci answering them, but in the old times, it would have been one of your other personalities. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, in the past it would have had to been some of the others, because like when I first started getting interviewed by Derek Caradori and the Omaha police, the other personalities had to come out because I had no knowledge of any of this stuff at all. I mean, like the police, when they said that Paul Bonacci, said that nothing happened, they were probably correct, because they probably actually in fact, I know they got me out one time and stuff, after one of the personalities had talked to and stuff. And then...
What do you mean they got you out?
They got me as Paul out.
Okay.
During the middle of one of their interviews about some of these people that had abused me and stuff. And the way they got me out and stuff was they kind of scared the other personalities, and I'm usually the one that's kind of the protector of everybody. Because even though I didn't know at the time that these were other personalities, I thought these were their other friends and stuff that I was protecting and stuff. I came out and the cops were sitting there saying, telling me to take back stuff. This didn't really happen, did it? I mean...
That's the way they interviewed you?
Yeah, that's the way they interviewed me. It's like when I was
Who
talking
interviewed
about
you that way?
Detective, or Sergeant Hoke. Detective Hoke.
With what department?
OPD. Omaha Public.
Have you ever been interviewed by the FBI?
No.
Never?
I've never met anybody from the FBI.
Never met them, or you never interviewed by them?
I never met them. Never even seen an FBI agent.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Finish explaining this.
But, it's like with, when they got me to recant or take stuff back and with the police and stuff, all they'd have to do is apply a little pressure and stuff, which they knew I was an MPD at the time they were interviewing me. And the first thing they should have known, that with an MPD you do not apply pressure, because that just causes another personality to come out that, well, basically, you pressure all the personalities enough, and you'll finally get a personality that will admit that they either lied or either a personality that doesn't know anything about it and will say, yeah, So basically they were, with a multiple, they were in good hands, because it's like all you have to do is apply a little pressure, and you got a perfect recanter, because he's, already the traumatic events and painful events, or even anything that even begins to be abusive, the other personalities just flee, they run. If they can't handle it, they run. And so that's why they...
Did anybody else work with you besides Reverend Morrow? In your integrating your personalities?
No.
Sounds to me like you did a great job.
Well, he did, and God did a lot of the work. I mean, because I had to go back to my cell. Most of the integration happened when I was on my own and stuff, and I'd go through them and talk to personalities, and they'd be ready to integrate, and they'd integrate, and it was fine. And
so you, through strength, your own strength and your own faith?
Well, it wasn't my faith. It was faith that God gave me, because my own strength, I'd have quit. He gave me a strength that I made it with.
I'm going to show you some pictures right now, and I don't have any group pictures to show with you, but this is a picture of a man and a child, and I'll hold these up one at a time to the camera. Right there. There's that one, and this one. And I want you to tell me if you recognize that person, that man.
I've seen the same guy, right?
Yeah, same one.
It's like this one's harder to spell. It looks real familiar, but...
Think about it in your travels, where you might have run into him.
I'm not quite sure right now.
But do you think you've seen him before?
Yeah. First, he reminded me again of Jerry Lowell from California, but that wasn't where I remember this guy from. And I was trying to remember what Jerry Lowell was similar to that, but not quite that big.
Mm-hmm.
He never was. And I don't think Jerry Lowe would be around any women or anything like that.
Who's Jerry Lowe?
He's a... All I remember is that he worked for some government office out in California. And he did some work for Alan Bear with some of his houses and stuff out there.
Was he a government agent?
No, he was, I don't remember what he did. He used to be like a runner. He used to run information back and forth.
I'm going to show you some artist conceptions, and I want you to tell me if you've seen these people. I'll hold these up for the camera. That's one. And here's another one. Now I'm going to cover the writing on these. I just want you to look at the pictures. I mean the conceptions only, okay? And so you won't have any. I don't want to prejudice your mind in any way whatsoever. And this is what. Let me put another piece of paper out there. This is what Mr. Bonacci will be looking at right here only on this piece of paper.
That's the picture paper.
And then this is the only thing he'll be looking at on this one. Anybody that you've ever seen before? Look familiar at all?
Seen a lot of people look like that, but nothing that I can really.
Nothing you can recognize?
No.
Okay. Now let's look. We're going to do something here. You through with those?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's look at something else here. Hold this up for the camera. This is another picture I'm going to show him. This is all that he'll see. He won't see any writing there.
Someone's got. Someone looks like me.
Take your time. Same person as this.
He doesn't have a beard and mustache.
Hmm?
He doesn't have a beard and mustache. Seen him out on the West Coast.
For the benefit of people who are watching this video, this picture that I just showed you, the last picture, is the same person as the individual in these two pictures. The man in these two pictures.
Seen him on the West Coast. I'm not sure if it was California or Nevada though. I know it was out during a couple of trips that we took out there.
Out there?
To Nevada and California.
Okay, do you want to think about that? Instead of us continuing?
Yeah. think about it.
Let's think about it, and we'll come back to it, okay?
Okay.
Now, the next series of questions I was going to ask you had to deal with this man that you think you've seen before, but rather than continue, I will not ask any more questions about that case, but I do want to show you this picture, and I'm going to show this to the camera. And see if you remember this individual. Or if you know him. You don't know him?
Nothing.
Okay. There's not one you need to think about even. You've never seen that man before. Okay. Let's go back to, we're going to come back to this. Going to give you time to think about it and come back to it. Okay, later on. If we don't do it today, we'll do it tomorrow or the next day, but think about that in the meantime. If you want to look at his picture between now and then some more, I'll let you just take these two pictures and just take them. I don't want to give you the other because it has writing on it, and I don't want to make it appear that I'm giving you information, leading information.
Yeah.
The newspaper article. Take that and think about it. Going back to multiple personality, I've been told that there's trigger words that can be used on MPDs. Can you tell me about that?
Well, they used to have a lot of trigger words. I have to get some of that in there.
You have it there? Pull it out. Let's discuss it right now while we're talking about it.
Let's see. Alright, file. No, that's not it. I know that's not it. It's at the bottom.
It always is, isn't it?
Not quite at the bottom. Listen now. Okay, that's not it. Don't need it, so. But this is a list on the class A, B, C, D, E, and F alters.
What is that now?
It's something I made on myself about the different personalities. It explains what class they were in. These are like the ones I was talking about that were living personalities, or class A alters. And like there's different groups, personality stuff, and there's certain ways to get to each group. Yeah, I think I got the wrong. But like in order to get certain personalities, you'd have to say a code. That's usually
in order to get a certain personality. Do these people? We're talking about these people. Who are we talking about? Somebody that would say trigger you.
People from the FBI, people from the CIA, the controllers.
But you said you've never seen an FBI agent before.
Well, I've seen them, but when I said I hadn't seen them, I mean none have come to interview me.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I mean, I've met lots of FBI agents, but I just have never had any ever
come interview me. Okay.
That's what I meant by that. I didn't mean that I've never met you.
Yeah. Okay.
Met a lot of them, but it's like with most personalities under. What could use Dustin? Dustin.
That is okay.
Zach, Ryan, and Bradley, which are all military type of personalities.
Okay, I'm gonna hold this up. Okay, you got it there?
Yeah, I got a better one in here.
Okay, let's get your best one there. Okay. Just hold that up and explain.
But it's like it's.
Okay, in the top it says Paul Bonacci, and it says Dustin here, and it says Zach, Ryan, and Bradley, is it?
Yeah, Bradley. Those were the ones that were in control of the ones that were under him, which was Carl. It's pretty much like a military operation. You got the leaders, and then you got your company commander, your platoon sergeant, your platoon.
This is all wrapped up in one person, you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's not leave this. Let's explain this further.
Put it over here.
Yeah.
But
Well, now,
the purpose for it is that each personality that was created for them, each one was just taught a little bit of how to do something, because they didn't want one personality to know too much. Like one knows how to, like maybe develop film, for spying stuff. One might know how to develop color film, which they did, but one might know how to fly an airplane. One might know how to fly a helicopter, but none of them ever learned more than one operation.
you're talking about each personality now.
Each personality, that made them separate, so that like if they ever got captured, if they were spying or something, the personality that would usually get captured would be one of these lower ones here and stuff that wouldn't know anything. All they'd know is basically their name. If they were in the military, their name, rank, and serial number, which in my case all they'd know is their name, date of birth, and home telephone number or something. And I don't even know my home telephone.
Okay, let me explain this. At the top it says Paul Bonacci. What's this W off to the side, pointing down to Dustin?
That's means that, well, I got a bigger chart that shows it somewhere. Here we go. Let's see. Dustin's chart was right over here somewhere. Has to be over here somewhere. It's usually shared with another personality. You have to go through, like to get to Dustin, which Dustin is right here. In order to get to Dustin's group, you have to go through me. You have to go through this group here and this group here. It's like you have to go through all the personalities just to get to his group. His group is so far down. It's so far
Okay, so this is the big chart here, right?
Yeah. It's got.
This is the big
Doesn't
chart.
have all the personalities, but it has.
This got all your personalities on it?
No, it just has the main.
The main personalities.
All the circles mean that there's groups inside of each one of
Why
them.
don't you get up on the other side of the camera and take us through this chart while I'm holding it up for the camera.
Okay.
First of all, go look at the camera and see if I'm getting the whole page.
Yeah, I could always take it off and bring it up there.
Okay. What do you got there? I mean, no.
I got a.
You got the whole page?
Yeah, I got the whole page. Let me zoom in real quick.
2 pages?
Yeah, I got both pages.
Okay, come on up here and explain it now. I'll hold it.
Hang on, let me get this. I can see Paul Bonacci. Okay. Okay, now I can come up here and explain it.
Okay, why don't you stand over here? It's easier, I think. You can
Okay.
see, you see it easier.
This is,
We'll go through step by step. Started with Paul Bonacci here and Paul Bonacci. Why is Paul Bonacci on this page and why is he on this page?
well, these are actually 2 charts I made. Each one of them represents, this guy's Christian Bonacci over here. He's one of the main controllers. He's also over here. He's in control of 33 personalities. Zacharias Knight's in control of 21 lower personalities. Mark's in control of 21. And it took Christian and Zach, and they came together and they agreed and they made Christian. They made another personality that the 2 of them had to agree on to let him out. Whereas before, like Christian, anyone that was under him, he could agree on himself to let any one of them out. But on these ones, they were like trying to create, or both of them had to do it, and then on Mark Anderson and Zach created Dane, so both of them had to agree when they let him out and to let his personalities out.
No, under here, Kristen has 8 and Dane has 7 personalities under him.
Yeah, under them. And it's like under Todd here. Todd was he was split from a different thing. He came off the main core line from me, just like Christian actually did.
Mm-hmm.
And I put them down lower since these 3 are together. But Todd has 10 personalities under him, and Micah has 18 under him. But over here, when we get to this group,
What's
I was
W?
separated. The W means that you have to go through one of these.
Oh, you have to go through one of these personalities to get to
Yeah,
W?
I got let's see. I think I got one here. But, maybe I don't have one in here, but oh well. Thought I had a chart that said what the W stood for because it's kind of hard to remember everything. And I know what it means. That's why it's got the block there.
Mm-hmm.
That means I can't go. Oh, that's Wesley. He's the only way that you can get to these guys.
Okay.
Wesley is a personality that I never knew about until just before I got out of prison. He would be the one that would decipher information. When people would go to get information to me and stuff, if it was something he didn't want me to have, he would block them. He'd get in front of them. It's like when I was in my building, I had a building inside my head, which I seen. I could walk through the halls and stuff. And there was an office that I never knew what was in there. It was Wesley's office before my door. There was Wesley's room, my room, and there was like an invisible shield. Whenever one of the personalities was trying to give me information that he didn't want him to have, he was like the all-seeing eye. He was like, oh, he knew everything that was going on with every personality. And he'd stop them right before they could leave. They couldn't get to my place because he'd have that invisible filled up and they'd run into it.
When you're in prison?
And they'd have to go in there. Well, no, it was any time.
Okay.
Past. But when I was trying to get information inside there, he was the one that blocked everything or twisted stuff up. They'd have to go in there and check it with him. Then they'd have to come out and go to me and stuff, and sometimes he'd take the information and he'd twist it all around, and the personality would try and tell me stuff, and there'd be a block. He was like a wall that blocked stuff. And there was no way to go to these personalities without going through him directly. That's why it's brought the broken line. It means indirectly I had to go through him even though I didn't know it. But I could go to these ones down here without that because I could go straight to them. These guys I could go straight to. These ones were a little bit more difficult because I had to go through these and him. But I could go directly to him if I needed to. These ones down here I had to go through him first.
Okay, this is Dustin
And,
here.
Dustin was like in control of military, all of the military personalities. He was in control of all of them.
And these are all military personalities down
All
here?
these ones over in here. These ones over here dealt with Satanism and...
Okay, let's stay on the military and then come across. We got Alex, Zach, Sean, Ryan, Brent, Bradley, and Carl.
Yeah.
Carl's has 21, Bradley got 6. These others
Which
just
ones?
have circles. They don't have any.
They have personalities under them, but those are all on their list that I have.
They're on another list, huh?
Yeah, I
Okay.
didn't figure it out
So,
because they had so many
it,
that I just...
in order, if someone had to deal with your military background, they would have to go through
Well, in the past I would have had to go through Wesley.
Wesley to
Dustin.
Dustin,
And
then Dustin would have to let him in there. A combination
Yeah.
of both of them.
In order to get any of the information that they'd all know, you'd have to get Wesley and Dustin together because Dustin takes orders only from Wesley, which means that he can't tell you anything unless he's got orders from above to tell you anything. These guys down here can't tell you anything unless Dustin says it's okay. And anybody in his group has to go through Carl. Carl has to go through Bradley. Bradley has to go through these two, and these two. You know, it's like the military. Whenever it's like passing the buck upward.
Yeah, and
Everything
then
goes
this is
down.
your satanic information, right?
That's the ones that dealt with satanic stuff. This one dealt with... Kelly had like 50-some personalities that all dealt with being locked up in different situations, like in prison, being stuck in a box, being, you know, tied up and stuck somewhere. He dealt with all the kind of...
There's
Yeah.
Wesley here again, though.
Wesley there used to be called confusion, and this used to be death.
Life.
He dealt with all the death.
Life.
He
It says
changed
life.
his name. He changed his name after...
From death to life.
Yeah. When they started before they integrated stuff, they didn't want anything to do with the Satanists anymore, so they all changed their name, and he changed his name to Wesley. I don't know why,
But the top of here for the satanic...
and his name is West Lee, not Wesley. It's
Okay,
Wesley.
West Lee.
Yeah.
And this is Paul J. Bonacci, and then we have Wesley, not West Lee.
Yeah.
And Life, which is actually death. And
Paul
Kelly.
Jr. used to be, I forgot what his name was even. He changed it though because he didn't like, because his name was, he had a satanic name actually.
Military, satanic, what's this?
They dealt with kind of, I'm not sure. I mean, I've tried to deal with their personality, their memories and stuff, and they really weren't really bad. They were mainly dealing with in-between stuff. I mean, it was like nothing that was too abusive and stuff, but they just kind of came out. They had bits and pieces of information to give, but mainly they were like, well, actually, these two here all had computers. They were like the computer personalities. They stored all the information. They made everything on like microfilm and stuff inside my head. They made it so that when people asked me details and stuff, they knew exactly what was going on or what, you know, why when I took trips to places and stuff, I could tell them, you know, every town we went through on the way to Colorado or something. And that was because we used to play a game and we used to do the alphabet. Me and Mike didn't. I picked it up, but they're the ones that stored.
You and Mike.
They stored all the signs inside.
Mike is who?
He was no, he ain't another personality. He was another kid that was with us.
Oh, another kid? Okay. All right. What's this group here?
They dealt with almost all the. They dealt with a little like Dungeons and Dragons, but they were all sexually abused personalities and stuff. So they were the ones that were first created, and they were purposely created. They weren't natural. These ones were created by the same group of military that used a lot of Satanism in the military personalities, because the Satanism caused a lot of personalities. They could use it like sacrifice and stuff because it would cause, you know, altars and stuff. They would use, sometimes they'd even have fake sacrifices. They, you know, make you think that they killed somebody. They'd even take take a body or something, but they'd let the kids see exactly where they buried the things or the people at that they supposedly kill and stuff. And even if they do kill a person, they'll bury the person right in front of the kids, and when the kids leave, they dig the body up, and they'll incinerate it or cremate it. And the kid, you know, if he ever goes forward and stuff, says, "Well, I know where the bodies are at." He's going to take them exactly where the body was at. They're going to dig around and not find anything. They're going to say, "Well, the kid's incredible because, you know, he doesn't know anything."
Right.
That's just to do that.
What are these over here?
These are. That's actually a chart just of Christian, but this guy's personalities. Those are the 33 personalities.
Oh, so this chart just fits under this one then?
Yeah.
That's
mainly because the very reason I got these ones out is this one's right here had the personalities that were running my life mostly. I mean, they go with the class, like I was saying, Class A altars. The majority of the Class A altars, there's like 20 Class A altars, and almost every one of them is on that list there. That means that all these personalities were the ones that were running my day-to-day life. They're the ones
but
that
they're
were
actually over here. On the big chart, they're over here.
They're over here, but you know, this guy here had the most of them. I mean, he had Mikey, which is on there, Alexander, Mike Bonacci, Michael Bonacci, Drew, Nicholas, Joshua. Top 9 are all under him.
Mm-hmm.
They were running
your day-to-day life.
They were running because they're the ones that had most of the activity. Even a lot of the activity that took place, they knew about.
So this chart here is the master chart.
Yeah, that's the master chart.
That's the master chart. Okay.
I can see.
Now let's go. And you show me Christopher's, which is 33 personnel. Christian. You get that one out. Let's run by that one again. That's right here.
It's right there.
Okay. Now you show me Christians, and these here are the personalities that fall under this one category right there. Okay. Now let's go through one at a time and throw them on the chart.
Okay. This is Zacharias, the next guy.
Which is right here.
Right here in the middle.
Okay.
And he had, I think it says 21 personalities on there.
He has 21 personalities. Are there 21 names on here?
Yeah. There's 21 names on there.
Okay. So this is off the master chart is right there. Okay. Continue.
And yeah, Mark Anderson. It was created because of Harold Anderson.
Okay. Where's Mark Anderson?
He's right here.
Mark Anderson's right here, and this falls under that category. Now you said something just now that's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
he was created because of Harold Anderson.
His last name came because of Harold Anderson. He was created before he got abused by Harold Anderson, but he never had a last name, so he picked up the name Anderson because, I don't know why, but mainly because he was the main one that dealt with Harold Anderson.
Okay. Tell me about your relationship with Harold Anderson.
Well, I've been involved with him about 6 times, or not 6 times, about 10 times, sexually, and he was kind of sadistic, like to tie people up and burn them with cigarettes and stuff like that.
Did he tie you up and burn you with cigarettes?
Yeah, me and some other kids.
How old were you at the time?
I started in about 78. I think it was close to 78. It was in 78. And so I've been about 11.
Okay, let's continue with some of these other characters.
Okay, and then we got Christian. This guy down here.
K-R-I-S.
I had to go through these two. Zach and Christian.
Okay, here's Christian right there.
Yeah. And he's got 8 personalities under him. And most of his were all still little kids.
Oh, right
when
here.
I got
This
arrested.
is right here.
It was one of the personalities in his group that was partially responsible for me going to prison for what happened in 1985.
Why was that?
Well, one of the personalities that was
Oh, I see.
out was like 6 years old, and it was with a cousin of mine that was talking about some stuff, and touched him, and then one of the other personalities came out. Christian came out and went punched telephone pole and stuff because he knew that was wrong and stuff. And that's now 17, and they said it happened in 87, so they could charge him with it.
Yeah, okay. Let's go to another one then.
And this is Dane. A lot of his personalities.
This is what now? Which one? Where is he on this chart?
Dane's right there.
Oh, Dane. This is Dane. Okay.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say Dane. It says Paul and.
Zacharias and Mark are the ones who created.
Oh, here's Dane right there. Okay.
Yeah, that means that's how you get to him. You have to go through these two. I had to go through these two and
to get to Dane, and there's Dane down here with 7 personalities.
Yeah, most of his had the name Daniels or Knight.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Next.
We got Micah. And Micah's over here.
Micah's has 18 personalities.
Yeah, they were kind of ones that I don't know what you'd say. They weren't really, I don't know if they were really computers or not. They were just they seemed to be able to put stuff together easier. I mean, you got Alan Bear's last name on here.
Why Bear's last name on there?
Well, that's how they were created, because of him. They were created to
experience
store.
you had with Bear.
They were created to store information about him and stuff like that.
Yeah, in other words, an experience you have with Bear, or a series of experiences.
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
Todd. He's next to Micah.
Okay, he's right here.
Everything's pretty much in order. So.
Good. Okay. And tell me about Todd. He had 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're right. You're right on target.
Yeah. But most of his, a lot of them have the person that abused him's last name, like Wise, William, there's a Bonacci, Gall.
Okay.
Anybody who had a different name than Michaels or Bonacci or something like that, I put the name down.
I can have a copy of all these.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
And, let's see. Next
We're moving over this way.
Suppose Dustin's out. I got him on board. Dustin, Shayonta. Okay, this is getting into Paul Jr.'s personalities. He has 36 personalities.
Okay, where are we?
And
Paul Jr. is. Yeah, Paul Jr. is right here on the chart, and that had to do with your satanic activity.
yeah, he knows 6 groups of 6. Each group has exactly 6 in it.
Okay, would you explain that? There's 6 groups with 6 people in it. Okay.
Each group is a different age. All these ones are under like baby personalities. They were created during the times that either infants were sacrificed, or it was like an Alec. Alec was created because there was a kid that was sacrificed who was named Alec, and they prayed the spirit into me, and it became.
They what? Prayed the spirit into you?
Spirit into me.
Okay.
I was only about 3 years old at the time, and that's how I got that personality, Alec. And these ones are all like that. I want to stop on this, but I can't find the file. I have a file on all of these. I'll give you.
On each one of those.
It tells you what each group stood for, but this is like the oldest group and stuff. They dealt with, like some of them were
okay,
like
what group?
magicians.
This is when you're 3 years
the
old.
infants. These ones are like 5, up to about 5 years old. And these
Okay.
ones are like from. We'll go over, but each group also dealt with just one type of activity. Like, I think they dealt with like magicians and stuff. They're like the
Okay, let's keep going. What was this group?
magical power. See, I'm trying to remember what that group was. And there was one group. This one here dealt with like human, like not really human sacrifice. They dealt with like the Knights of the Round Table and stuff like that. I mean, they had their own castle. They had their own running their own show and stuff.
These were adults.
These were the oldest ones, yeah. They weren't really adults. They're like 6 up to 16, I think.
What's
16,
this group
20.
here?
Damien and Ananiah, they dealt with, I'm trying to remember exactly. I have a list somewhere, but I forgot where I put it at. On what they dealt with. But they split. That's not exactly it, but they dealt mainly with a certain thing. I mean, like some dealt with babies who were sacrificed, some dealt with, these ones were abusive to other kids. They were forced to beat up on other kids and stuff like that.
This group here.
Yeah.
That's 5, 6 years old now.
Yeah, they were like the brats. They were like created
Okay.
to
You don't remember
beat
this
up
group?
people. Shanta, I think they were created for having I think it was either this group or this group that was created to have sex with other kids that were their age and stuff.
Okay.
They're created for that purpose.
What age group would that be?
That'd be, let's see, under 10.
Okay.
And they were created, there's this group or this group that's created as magicians. That was their whole purpose, was magicians. And some dealt with all chants. One remembered all the chants and stuff, and all of the spells and stuff like that.
Can you do that for me? Give me chants and spells? Can you remember that?
No,
No, not right now,
Yeah.
but can you?
yeah, I can do.
Huh?
I can do that. I can put them down on paper.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
And did you put them on paper yet?
No, not really. I don't. And that. And then I didn't make charts.
Wait
for
a
these
minute, we
groups.
haven't finished these groups here.
Okay.
This is a magician. We had an interruption and had to cut the tape because the battery ran out. So we will continue with the interview at this time. Come on around, Paul. Who were?
Well, I was actually standing
We
up.
were here before, I believe. Huh?
Yeah, I was standing up.
You were standing up, right? And I think I was explaining, or I was mentioning that we hadn't covered these two interviews here. I mean, these two groups.
Yeah.
And now, when on the break, when we were recharging the battery, you came up with some more paper. So we'll
Yeah, I found the charts that go with
found the
this.
charts that go with this, right?
Yeah.
Further detail this. So, do you want to explain these then, and then go into those charts?
Okay, this group here, which has Damien, Ananiah, Druid, Case, David, and Peter, they all dealt with, they were in charge of doing the chants and doing animal sacrifices. So that's what their whole purpose was for, was to deal with animal sacrifices. From 80 to 84, they were out and they were in charge of doing the chants stuff, so they remember all the chants that they did. This last group was the one that handled eating flesh and drinking blood, human blood and stuff through the same time period as from 88 to 84 and stuff. And that was their whole thing, was doing that, plus they also were the highest level of the satanic altars, so they were the oldest ones.
You want to go back, since you found your notes, and
Yeah.
go through each of these other groups then?
Well, like I said, Alex, this one represents babies that were killed, or wish they were the babies that were killed. And that went from 1970 to 1984. That's when they were all created. It was in that 14-year time span. This group here was the ones that were forced to have sex with children that were under 6 years old, because they were themselves under 6. These are baby altars. These are under 6. The next group was all under 10, and they were forced to hurt other kids to gain higher levels in heaven. And this group here was all the, like I believe I said before, they were the ones that were into witchcraft and doing the chants and doing the black magic and stuff. And they were like 10 to 14.
You said these did the chants also on the human side.
Yeah,
and
they did the
animal
chants.
sacrifice.
All they did was black magic. They
This
were
group here.
magicians. They were magicians and
This group here.
witches. Yeah.
This one did the animal sacrifice.
So they did the animal sacrifices and the chants, because
Okay.
they're separated.
You mentioned that these people did chants also.
They did the chants for the
Black magic.
black magic. So that's all they had. They had all the chants that were involved with magic and Satan and stuff. So that's where that's.
Okay, now you have a chart for that?
Yeah.
Let's hold that up. I don't think you can see it though. These are notes that you made earlier.
Yeah. Those are notes I made earlier, and
They're in pencil also, which is a problem. What's this here?
trying to
Oh, this is what they each did.
hold them straight again. I think I can,
Let me turn them sideways first.
yeah.
Okay, there they are.
Pencil part I can't see, but
Yeah.
that I can get most
Well,
of
we'll
it in.
clarify this. These notes here are in pencil, and they explain each group. These pencil parts.
So I got a perfect photo on each one of them right now, and I'm going across the page. Okay. Now you can turn it sideways and see if I can see the lettering. See if I can focus in on it. Just hold it steady. Yeah, I got a perfect one. Okay. I'm so glad this thing has autofocus on it. Okay, now to go down a little bit. Okay.
Okay?
Move the paper so I can see.
Sideways?
Well, all together so I can see the chair so I can focus it on the chair again.
You want me to
Yeah,
remove
just pull it down.
Okay.
That way I can,
Okay. We still have to go back to these other charts.
this is gonna look real fun on the tape part of this
How's
thing.
that?
Huh?
How's that?
All the movement. But it'll look okay.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm back.
Okay, now you're back. We've got this
I
one
don't have a
covered.
camera.
Now we need to go to,
Now we need to go to one of Dustin's, which is down.
yeah, here's Dustin.
Dustin?
Dustin's here on the
Dustin.
master chart, and here he is. This goes right in there.
Well, this goes into Carl's.
Okay, so,
Dustin right here.
huh? This is the next one we should have?
That should be the next one, because that tells who his people are. Okay, Alex and
Zach.
Zach, and I also have more notes on them, so I can look them up real quick and tell you what everything is. It's so much better when I had everything in my head. But Zach's group was mainly made up of like a computer system in my head. They were like, all the personalities in them held specific things for containing all the information. They had hypnotic suggestions and stuff. Some of them weren't real personalities. They were just kind of hypnotic ones. That's the ones under Zach. Ones under Alec, they're not personalities, they're simple, they're just kind of a file system to hold memories of all the other alters and stuff and keep everything from being united into one personality. They try to keep everything from being put into one personality. Alex is he's the controller of that network. And then after him you go into Sean and Ryan, and Sean and Ryan's total purpose was
Sean and Ryan on the master chart.
yeah, Sean and Ryan down here on the master chart, and also up here. Sean had a lot of personality and stuff. They were a lot of them were hypnotic suggestions. They had really no memories and stuff. They just gave names to. I gave them names to simplify them and stuff. A lot of them they held like learning how to drive a tank, or.
Well, did you actually know how to drive a tank?
Mm-hmm.
Who taught you that?
That was part of the military training with Monarch.
Okay.
So.
We'll go into that later.
Yeah, and then we got Ryan, and he had abilities too, and they were mostly intelligent and sabotage and learning how to spy on other people and other places, and that was their whole purpose for being created. And then the lost personality, as I call him, is Kelly. But
Kelly's not on here.
Well, Kelly's down here.
Oh, he's over here.
Okay.
You're going back to the satanic.
I got the chart in the wrong place. I thought it was the lost guy that I had lost a long time ago. I looked at the wrong name when I was trying to read it. That happens every once in a while. On this one here, I should explain. Paul Jr.'s name used to be Demaya. He changed it. He didn't like it because it was a satanic name, and he wanted nothing more to do with that stuff. So. I'm getting all the. Then we got Bradley, who's down here.
What, did you have any more on Kelly?
On Kelly, his personalities were just ones that were locked up all the time.
Oh, they're locked up in behind doors and closets.
Locked up, closets, prisons, stuff like that.
Okay. So when you were in prison, did you have Kelly's personality, or were you integrated then?
I had him when I first went in and stuff, so it's like he dealt with a lot of the beginning stuff. So.
Okay.
And then we got Bradley's group here. They were all had set purposes and stuff. They had been had military training and stuff like that. And some of their names were like Sylvester, Roger, Scorpio, Magi, Dennis, and Robert. And they're...
You had 6 personalities.
Yeah, they were forced to do things with other men for the military to kind of blackmail politicians and stuff to get the military whatever they wanted. And then we got Carl, who's not the last one. Brian's the last one, but...
Carl's here and Carl's here.
Yeah. Carl, there, well, same one as up here, but his group, and it's very specific on everybody that was in his group and stuff. He had 21 people, 3 groups of 7. He had Simon, who was like a computer sergeant at the clerk. He was like the one that ran that. And he had Logan, who was an electrician tech, Donald, who was a computer tech, Perry, who was a secretary, Wesley, who was a secretary, Edward, who was a computer specialist, and William, who was a computer specialist also. And they mainly ran, you know, when we had to deal with like computers either inside my head or outside, they're the ones that ran them, and even fixed my sister's computer when I first got out because she had some problem with it. They just went in and straightened it out. It was just on punching stuff in right. And she's been through school for that, and she still didn't know how, and her instructor didn't know how, and I just went in 5 minutes and I had it completely fixed.
Impressive.
And then we have Jeff, who is the secretary chief. He's like, or security chief, not secretary chief, security. He was in charge of security inside. He's the one that kept us all safe. He was like the very violent one.
This is the 21 personalities, yeah.
Yeah, and he had Jackie, who was the security guy.
Go over and sit down and go over those notes in front of the camera.
Okay, good.
We're still talking about Carl, right?
I want to sit down. Take a drink. Get in the middle of the table. Pull a chair in.
These are Carl's personalities.
Yeah. Jackie was one of them under him, and he was like in charge of security. He's the one that kept everything tight-lipped on these, so they wouldn't say nothing. Shane was a weapons sergeant. He knew all about weapons and stuff. He was the one in charge of putting them out. Dan, he's the one I used to call Ninja all the time. He's the martial arts instructor for all the other personalities. He taught all the other ones how to fight, which wasn't hard when I knew how to. You know, I was the highest degree one. And then you got Brian, who was in security, and then you got Douglas and John, who were weapons specialists. They fixed them and tore them apart and tell you about an M60 machine gun and all that other stuff. Then down below you got Shanna, who was in charge of demolition. You got Fox, who was an engineer, Sloan, who was a demolition expert, Henry, who was an information and demolition, Tom, who was a pilot, Greg, who was an information sergeant, and Nick, who was an explosive expert. So that's what their total purpose was. It's like all he knows about it was in the past when I wasn't in grade to have gotten him out. One thing he told you about is, you know, how to make things blow up. You know, how much dynamite you'd need to blow up a bridge or a building, or...
You learned this all in the military.
Yeah. How to light up your Christmas tree.
Did we cover Bradley's 6 personalities?
Bradley...
Yeah. Bradley here.
Yeah, we did him just before.
And how about Brant?
Brant, he was actually not a personality for abilities. He was a personality for disabilities, mostly. He was the one that caused blindness for me. I mean, in the physical body, he would cause these things to happen. It's like, while my vision would go out on me sometimes, he'd block things out so I couldn't see memories of things. He'd actually take pictures that people would show me and show me somebody else. Like, he'd show me a picture of somebody, and he'd show me a picture of the Pope. That's what I'd see. And you're showing me a picture of Ronald Reagan, he's showing me a picture of the Pope, just to confuse me. He had deafness, numbness. He gave me a temperature, he gave me weakness in the arms, chest pain, seizures, headaches, weakness in the legs, weakness all over, cramps in the legs, stomach cramps, speech slurred, and touch disability, because I used to have no feeling in my fingers. He's the one that caused that. Because every time he ever got in trouble, they used to smack his hands, or cut his hands, which I got cuts in my fingers, so he decided he didn't want no feeling in his fingers, so he just did that.
Okay. Okay, how about this last chart here? This is this Dustin. Can we go through Dustin already?
Dustin was the one that just had the, I think that's somebody else's chart, isn't it? Carl's chart.
It's Carl's chart?
Yeah.
Oh, Carl.
Listen,
Okay, yeah, through Carl.
I went through Carl.
Okay, you already went through Carl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is Carl here, and this is Carl.
So glad I get all this over now.
Okay, that's the master chart. What about this? Can we go through this?
Bradley? Yeah.
We went through this earlier.
I just went through it a minute ago. So I got all
Let me
that.
throw this up on the camera, because I don't think we have it on the camera. Do we have this on the camera?
No, I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think we did either, yeah. Here's Bradley. We went through Bradley. This is Paul, Dustin, Alex, Zach, Sean, Ryan, and then Bradley. And then Bradley breaks down into Carl and Brett. Well, wait a minute. Bradley here breaks down into Sylvester, Roger, and oh, that's your 6 personalities. Okay, I got it. Here's the
I'm
Bradley
getting
6.
Hold the master chart up real quick, because I got a perfect... Okay.
That's your 6 personalities of Bradley. Did you explain them?
On Bradley?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And Alex behind his finger. That's the one I couldn't see.
Alex right there?
Yeah. Okay. Then I
Okay.
can move it back and I can...
Okay, we explained all
refocus.
the charts now.
This isn't like the America's Most Wanted crew that came in. They had their own cameraman. But this is going pretty good.
I think it's going very well.
I just gotta get the chair centered.
Now it says here you had a total of 199 altars minus only Wesley. This is in a document that he wrote up, right?
Yeah.
You want to explain that?
Oh. Altogether there were 199 altars minus only Wesley. Not counting myself, for the most part only about 30 contained a lot of memories. And only 20 were memories of abusive, outside of abusive situations. That means that there's only 20 of them that didn't go through abuse. Or times, outside of abuse situations, or times of being manipulated by others to do their bidding. The altars could be classified the following ways. First, many were caused by sexual abuse. These ones have most of the incidents fully intact. They also have a few who are very mature and who in themselves turned from the abuse. Some were stuck as children and almost none knew they were part of myself. And I do in fact have charts for each group of altars as they were classified by
Okay.
myself. The Class A altars, which I'm going to hold way out there so that maybe the camera can pick it up, maybe not, I don't know. But
You want to explain that?
yeah, sure. Class A altars were ones that were living day-to-day lives. They don't include the controller personalities, which a controller is somebody who's in control of making sure the right personality comes out at the right time for whatever activity is taking place. These personalities would like go to the store, they'd go to school, they would study German, or they'd do your normal everyday things that I could even do. Class B altars, these were altars that were mostly present while I was a child. Most of them have never even fully grown up. So many most of them were before the integrated stuff, were still children. Some, most have several memories, and normally the activities are only with a certain individual, with one person. That's it. That's their memories. Whenever they're with one person, that was their whole responsibility, was being with that person, with whatever they did. That was their purpose. Class C altars. These altars are only partial personalities. They have several memories but are not full. They were used for one direct purpose only. They also contain altars. Contains altars that were very organized at keeping track of memories, such as the computer files. Class D altars are those that were split off from other altars who were higher functioning altars that dealt with day-to-day life, but they couldn't handle some of the activities that even took place with them, so they split off alters of themselves. These alters are have very disturbed memories. Since none of them contain full memories, some have partial memories shared by other alters. And Class E alters are control or lead alters who are either in control of other alters or have triggers to set off their own abilities or that don't make no sense. Their own abilities or inabilities. Oh, inabilities. Okay. And then Class F alters are personally split off from other alters. These hold very small. I mean, they could hold 5 minutes at a time, and that's all that they would ever hold. Some of them were involved with Satanism. Some had triggers, and their sole responsibility was as messengers inwardly to make sure that others were out at the proper time. Or they were alters who became fully internal prior to the discovery of MPD. Some of them actually got integrated before they
Excuse me. Now, before we go any further, I'd like to point out that that you, Paul, have listed all your personalities by alters.
Yeah.
And I'd like to put these on camera.
Okay, I'll...
And so you won't run the camera, and I'll identify each group.
Okay.
This is Class A, and those are all the personalities. Those are all the personalities, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Let me get this all on.
Tell me when to turn the page.
I'm just gonna... Okay, you can turn it.
Okay, these are your Class B alters. And these are all, we're all on the charts, right?
Yeah. I got them all listed.
You got them? Should I turn the page?
Hang on, I gotta go back up on the other side still. If I didn't have this mounted, I'd take it off.
Okay.
Okay, you can go.
And this next group are Class C alters. Take it off.
Second. Yeah, I gotta take it off. I can do this better without it on here. And it doesn't take but a second to
Okay.
put back. Be careful since this thing is well, come on, focus. There it goes. Okay, go on.
And the next are Class D alters, all of whom are listed on the chart. You got some empty space here, 31 through 35. Does that mean anything?
No, I just didn't put anybody's name in there because there was nobody there.
You just, okay.
I want to move your finger down at the bottom. I'm missing Sylvester. Okay, you can go on to the next one.
Next is Class E alters.
Come on, focus a little bit better.
Can you read these on camera?
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe we ought to go through the charts that we had and do this to them, don't you? Because you couldn't read them.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, when we get through with this.
Yeah.
E, and this is F coming up.
Alright, going a little bit further. Okay, there we go. I'm not doing like they do on TV where they give you 2 seconds to look at it. It's like a flyby view of it. Okay, that should be it, isn't it?
Now let's go through this. Hang in there. Let me go through these charts.
Okay, let me get this. Oh, there's a strap. What do you know?
You ready?
I'm gonna get this cord over here so I can
master chart.
Okay, let me get this. Dustin's entire group.
Tell me when you're ready.
Paul Jr.'s group.
Huh?
I'm just looking at the different groups at it, one at a time. Okay.
Okay. Now, next I'm going to show you Bradley's group. And on the master chart, that'll be here through to Bradley. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There makes sense.
Okay, you can go on if you want.
Okay, the next I'm going to show you will be Carl's group, and this is the master chart. It'll be Dustin through to Carl and his 21 personalities.
Okay.
Next will be Brant's group. It'll be Dustin through to Brant. Excuse me.
Okay, you can go on.
Okay, the next will be Paul Jr.'s group. Let's look at the chart here.
Let's see, Paul Jr.
It'll be right here. This is the satanic group.
Let me zoom in on that. Get it focused. Focus.
That's the master. You're looking at the master now. You ready to go to the next?
Hang on, I gotta get it.
Huh? You ready?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, now, here it is with the 36 personalities.
Just like your eyeball, it needs to focus.
Yeah. Tell me when to go.
Okay, you can go.
Okay, this is Todd's group. This is the master chart here. This is, we're going to go Paul through here to Todd.
Put Todd in the center, there.
Here's Todd.
It's like, where's Todd? Focus.
Here's Todd. Here's Johnny.
Where's Johnny? Oops, I didn't mean to touch it. Okay, there's Todd's group. All the way down to the Henry Gall that wants to be different, not focus very good.
Todd's group has 10 personalities, according to the master chart. Ready to go to the master chart now?
Yep.
And this is Misha?
Micah.
Micah. M-I-C-H-A, is it?
M-I-C-H, yeah.
H-E. M-I-C-H-E.
No, it's H-A, yeah.
Okay, Micah. 18 personalities. That's where, this is the master chart. Now we're going over here to Micah.
Whoa, back up.
Go back to the master.
No, I'm talking about, I had to back up the camera. It's a little too close for me.
Okay.
And I gotta go forward a little bit so I can read the names. Okay.
And the next will be Dane's group. And on the master chart, it'll be down to here.
I gotta find the paper again. Where is it?
Right here.
Yeah.
This is the master chart. Okay, now here it is. It's Dane's group. Dane has 7 personalities.
I can get all of them on a close-up so I can get it. I see their names real good. Dane. Okay.
Okay, and next is Kristen. That's this one right here with 8 personalities. Come through the chart to Kristen. That's the master. Here's the detailed chart of Kristen. Kristen's 8 personalities.
Okay.
And next will be Mark Anderson, which will be over here. That was created because of your experiences with Harold Anderson, right? And here, this is the master chart. Now here's the detail chart.
Oh. Okay, 1 minute. Let me get this back up so I can. Come on, should be able to see all the names. Okay.
The next is Zacharias Knight.
Zacharias Knight.
Zacharias Knight, and that's this group here. That's 21 personalities. This is the master chart. Here's the detail chart.
Okay.
Okay, now, next and the last is Christian Bonacci. That's this right here with 33 personalities. This is a master chart. Right
See,
there.
I gotta get it focused. Okay.
And here is the detail chart.
Boo, back up.
Me?
No, I'm talking about
Talking yourself.
the camera. I need to back it up a little bit because it's just a big, you know, I gotta go in and go across it. Otherwise I'll never get them all on the same shot. Oh, come on, go in a little bit closer. Maybe it'll focus a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Back up. Okay.
Ready?
Yep, that's it.
That's it. Okay, put the camera back on the tripod and we'll get on with the next step.
Ah.
Don't turn it off, I'll leave it on.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Fortunately, I've got
I don't want to turn it off because they might think something might be said.
I'm sure I picked it up, but I can't help it.
Huh?
I'm blowing my nose.
Oh well. You gotta blow, you gotta blow.
Okay.
Come on, tighten up. It doesn't spin around on me.
Do we hold it? Can we hold it?
Oh, I got it.
You sure?
It's still going. Yeah, it's just I thought it spun in and it didn't. Oh, no wonder. Forgot to put the bolt up.
Want me to help you? I'll be glad to come over there if you need me. Don't be that shy. Let me hold it.
There, we got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, okay. Let's see if we can get away with this. I'll turn this so it doesn't allow the camera to just flop back and forth there. Almost have a little bit of excitement. It's like,
Okay,
I just got attacked by a vicious dog. Now I get it focused on the chair again, but that's easy because I know where it goes. Oops. This one needs to come up just a hair. Okay.
Okay. Now, next thing I want to do, I want to go more into detail on these, but before we do, I want to clarify a point. When we were recharging the battery, I asked you about a statement that you made earlier on tape that you'd not been interviewed by the FBI, never met anyone from the FBI, and never seen, even seen an FBI agent.
Yeah.
Now, when I first interviewed you in prison here last fall, you said that you had met a number of FBI agents, and I want to clarify that discrepancy. Can you explain that?
Yeah, what I meant by not meeting any FBI agents, I meant involved with the Franklin, anything dealing with the Franklin case, dealing with Johnny Gosch. I'd never met anybody dealing specifically with this case. I had met FBI agents prior to being arrested and stuff with different things I was involved in and stuff, but I had never met anybody dealing with Gosch or with Franklin. So not any related matters with the Franklin case or with Johnny Gosch. So I've never met anybody with that.
What you're saying is you've never had a formal interview?
No, I've never been
with the FBI? No. Since the Franklin Credit Union case broke, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying. So I want to clarify that, because you told me in the last interview that I had with you that you had met 7 or 8 agents, I believe.
Yeah.
And I want to get into that later. Okay? Now, what I want to do next is I'd like to go through, we're not through with the chart, by the way, Paul. I'd like to go through the chart, starting with Mark Anderson, and explain each one of these. Why Mark Anderson? You said something earlier. Is there any further clarification of that? Because you.
With Mark Anderson, it was mainly dealing with. He started when I was about. I think it was before I was 6.
Harold Anderson, you're talking about.
The personality started.
Okay.
Before I was 6 and stuff, as just Mark, and never had a last name. And years later, he was the personality that dealt mainly with Harold Anderson, and that's where he picked up the name Anderson for his last name.
What is years later?
About 1978, I believe.
Well, how old were you then?
I was about probably 10, 11 years old.
Okay, and who is Harold Anderson?
He was the ex-editor of the Omaha World Herald.
Publisher, I think he was.
Well, yeah.
He was a publisher.
Yeah, he was also the editor.
Was he before that? Okay, before he was published, he was an editor.
Yeah, and I know that happened in. I'm just double checking. 78, yeah, because I met him through a guy named Walter Carlson. And that was at some.
Who's Danny Walter Carlson?
Huh?
Who's Carlson?
Walter Carlson.
Walter? Okay, who is that?
He was one of the first guys that really started abusing me on a regular basis. And he started in about 76. I met him at Hanscom Park. My family was having some kind of family reunion or something, and he was the guy that was there, and I was kind of off to the side and stuff. He talked to me and said, you know, I might like to come over and play some of his nephews or something sometime. And so I agreed to and stuff. And sometimes he started. At first it just started off. We went over his house stuff and we watched cartoons and stuff. Then it started into showing regular movies, and then he started showing movies with men and women having sex, and movies of men and boys having sex and stuff. So kind of worked out. And there's other guys like a guy named Ken Bruner and.
Who's he?
He's the guy that used to be with Carlson and stuff at parties and stuff at Carlson's house or at Joe Burke's house. He was also another guy that was involved with them.
And what were their occupations?
I have no idea what their occupations were. I never,
you don't know Carlson?
I was a kid. I didn't know.
Carlson's, Bruner's, or Burke's occupations? You never did know it?
I never knew because I was just a kid and I never, they didn't volunteer any information.
You haven't learned since then, have you?
Mm-mm.
Okay, keep going.
But they were involved with a whole group of guys who, again, they were molesting other kids, and they did the same thing to me. And
does that have to do with Mark Anderson's personality?
Yeah, that had something to do with it because
sub-personalities under.
Yeah, a lot of the personalities were abused by those guys and stuff, and along with the other personalities that are in this general area. But it was through them that I met Harold Anderson at a party and stuff, and that's when I started to meet with him.
That's when you got into the big time, huh?
No, kind of, because after that I met some other people.
Who else did you meet through Harold Anderson and these people?
Through them, I really didn't meet too many people. I met a guy named Robert Andreessen, who was a big guy that lived out in Ralston, and used to kind of be real threatening if you told that he would hurt you or something.
Who was he? Who's Andreessen professionally?
Professionally, I'm not sure what he was. All I know is a big guy. I never got to know what anybody really did for a living. I never even knew what Harold Anderson did, except for one time I was told he ran a paper. That's all I knew, is that he ran a paper. I didn't even know what paper.
You subsequently learned who he is, though, right?
Yeah, a lot of them I learned since, and a lot of them I haven't.
Okay, how about Zachary Knight? That personality, how'd that develop?
Zachary Knight developed about the same time as Mark. He was one of the controllers and stuff, and he developed through sexual abuse, and he decided he couldn't handle it too much, but he was also the one that dabbled into Satanism. So.
Okay, who's he? Professionally.
Who?
Zachary Knight.
I don't even know. I mean, the last name, I've been trying to figure out where that's come from for a long time.
Okay, who else did he introduce you to?
What is it? That's nobody.
What's that chart you're looking at there?
It's the chart of the guys who abuse me and stuff. It just has their names, approximate sexual activity with each person, with that person, the year I met them, or about that time and stuff.
Okay, we look
from what town they're from, and then involved with what group of people, like if they're involved in Ambler or call center or Bear or.
Okay, we can go over that chart too then later on, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he introduced me to. Through Zachary, I got involved with like Emilio and stuff, and.
Emilio, you want to explain who Emilio is?
Emilio's the guy who abducted Johnny Gosh and kidnaps kids for a living. That's I've come to learn was his occupation, I guess.
Okay, who else did he introduce you
I don't really know. There's just a lot of people he introduced me to.
to? You didn't know their names, in other words?
Well, yeah, I know their names, but all personalities are involved with a lot of the same people. So.
Well, I see. So there's overlap. How about Christian Bonacci?
He was the first one that was created.
Okay.
And
how old were you when that happened?
About 3. He was created at first because of the sexual abuse that the guy who was in the Air Force was letting one of his friends do. And he was also created to start handling the tough things, and when he couldn't handle it, he created a new alter that was a controller, which was Zach. Then he created Mark. Then they got together and they created the other ones, and they got together and created all the rest of them. So.
Christian and Dane.
Christian's the one that was also a Christian personality that became a Christian before.
K-R-I-S-T-I-N, Christian, not Christian.
Christian, yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about Christian, actually. Yeah.
Okay. So, Kristen, K-R-I-S-T-E-N. I-N. Was an outgrowth through Christian.
Yeah, Christian and Zach.
Well, how did Kristen, K-R-I-S-T-E-N, I-N, and Dane develop?
They developed when some of these personalities up here started developing consciences, so they tried to push.
Oh, I see. So Christian, Bonacci, Zachary Knight, and the Mark Anderson personality developed a conscience. So then you pushed them into another personality.
They pushed into another personality that would.
And that would be Kristen, K-R-I-S-T-I-N, and Dane, right?
Ones that were more willing to do what these people wanted because they started saying that was wrong and they didn't want anything to do with it.
This is a group up to 6 years of age.
No, those are all ages.
Well, these are all ages? Okay.
Yeah, those ones are all ages.
And this is under the, these all the...
I mean, there's some in there that were like 18, 19 years old. So.
Well, then going over to this next group, Todd and Micah. Mikey,
Micah.
M-I-C-H-E?
Well, it's C-H-A.
Okay, Micah.
Micah.
These were up here on the chart. What about them? They were developed how?
Well, they were developed to deal with specific persons. like with Alan Bear, and one dealt with Larry King, and
Okay,
he just dealt with the different.
Explain who Alan Bear is.
Alan Bear is the ex. I guess he's the ex heir to the J.L. Brandeis and Sons. He also owns a lot of realty and stuff out in all over the country, and he got some buildings out in San Francisco. Some that got damaged in the earthquake in '89, and I only know that because I was in the house and he was talking about it at the same time, talking about his buildings that got damaged.
In '89?
Yeah, the earthquake.
You were in the house since '89?
Well, one of the personalities had gone back and had seen him and stuff, and was at his apartment one time. He was talking to one of his.
Before you went to jail?
He had a female attorney. Yeah, it was 3 days before. Wednesday, I got arrested. Actually, Saturday morning at about 2:30. It was a couple days before that, and I told him to go F himself, and because he wanted me to get some of my young friends to go to his parties, and I told him no way, to go F himself, and I left.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me I'd be sorry.
That's the last time you saw Alan Bear?
So when I was there at the apartment in Twin Towers, he was talking to one of his, I guess she was an attorney out in, I believe she was out in California, out in San Francisco, where the earthquake hit. And they were talking about a building that had been damaged by the earthquake, and the elevator didn't work, and the people that were complaining and stuff, which would be really neat to check out, because, how would I know you had a building out there, and how would I know that it was damaged by the earthquake if it indeed wasn't?
What kind of a building was it, do you know?
I don't know. It was an apartment.
Apartment? Okay.
It was a building that people lived in, because they were talking about some of the tenants were complaining because they...
Do you remember which personality visited his house?
Yeah, Mikey.
Oh, Mikey did, okay. And
he's under Christian.
Well, no, Mikey isn't under Christian. He's over here.
No, that's Micah.
Micah.
Mikey.
Oh, Mikey.
He's not a controller. He's just a personality, so
Okay.
he's in that group there.
Okay, how about Mike and Todd?
Mike and Todd stored a lot of information. I remember. And they just stored information about certain people that were involved with specific people. I mean, they dealt with all kinds of different things. Jimmy Escobedo was the one that was involved with Emilio, that he was scared to death to say anything to anybody. Personalized under him and stuff were the ones that remembered specific details about places. Nathan Price was named after, I forgot who the guy was. A guy named Jerry or something like that, Price. He dealt with that. And Eric and Benjamin Howard dealt with the minister that was a gay minister from Colorado. Who was also in charge of a gay church, which...
Well, we're in Colorado.
Near Colorado Springs or something. It was one of the MCC churches they had, Metropolitan Community Churches. And then Sean and Dimitri Bear were dealing with Alan Bear. That was it. Todd's personalities dealt with higher class people. Saying that Alan Bear is a higher class, but they dealt with a little bit higher class people.
You're talking about politically affluent, influential people.
Yeah. But I don't know, I mean, like this Gall, I know he was a senator or something, or congressman or something, Gall.
How do you spell it?
G-A-L-L. And a guy named Weiss and a guy named William, which I got Prince William, that's because the guy called me Prince William. Weiss called me Prince. So he just took the guy's last name and used it too.
Okay, keep going. You want to go to the next group, which would be your satanic group?
Okay, and then you got Paul Jr., who used to be called Demaya. Demaya was a demonic name in the first place, and that's why he decided to change his name when he got saved.
Uh-huh.
And personalized under him were the group that we talked about that had the 36, 6 groups of 6,
Right.
which is the satanic
Right.
number. Then you got Wesley, who used to be called Confusion. He used to confuse all the information about everything, and he didn't really have personalized under him. He just had confused thoughts under him, I think. Then there's Life, who used to be called Death. He's Life now because he was one that went from the mode where I'm going to kill myself all the time to, hey, it ain't so bad. I can handle this. I've been through worse.
Uh-huh.
So he kind of went from death to life. And then there's Kelly, who dealt with being locked up all the time, and he just kind of disappeared the last 4 months of being in prison. Actually, last year he disappeared. He wasn't even around after I went to the parole board and they yanked my parole. No need for him.
So we pretty well dealt with this other group, I think, in detail,
Yeah.
didn't we? The Dustin group.
And,
Okay, get your chart out there that you had that shows everybody you've been involved with and the dates and the towns and so forth.
okay.
That's yours.
Yeah.
That's yours, this is mine.
Okay. Is that the same thing as this, or?
Yeah, it's the same thing. You said this is...
Oh, that's right.
But, well, that's America's Most Wanted. I'm going to go over that in a little while. I want to go through this next section.
Okay, let's see.
You mentioned Larry King just a minute ago. You want to explain who Larry King is here?
Larry King used to be in charge of the Franklin Credit Union, I think that's what it was called. He was the thief. I don't know what he was.
Well, he was charged with embezzlement and fraud, I think.
Stole $38 million and gets 15 years.
Yeah, and
Poor old Jim Baker steals $4 million and gets 45 years, which they reduced it all the way down to 12 now or something.
I think, yeah.
Pretty good. Well,
Okay, these are charts and records that you get. Now, let me ask you this. How can I be sure that these are documented dates and times and so forth? Did you have a calendar or a diary or what?
I had one diary I had 7 diaries. All 6 of them disappeared. The 7th one, a couple of months were ripped out of it. I mean, it had names. The one that had 2 months ripped out of it had names, phone numbers, addresses of all these guys and stuff in it. Because they had a front part and the thing in it.
How'd you reconstruct it?
I used my mind. Part of this was pretty simple because I remembered when stuff happened, so I just went off of the memories. I had a little calendar for something, but I don't know what's that.
You showed me a calendar, a year-by-year calendar not too long ago.
Yeah, the year-by-year calendar is something that I created since I've been out too.
Well, since you've been out, you didn't have that at the time.
No, that's from the internal memories and stuff. But there is something in there that was off of a regular calendar that most of it would probably look like junk, but it went off of a real calendar that I've got downstairs. I know exactly where it's at if I don't find it in here. But here we go. See if I can find the back side of it. That's definitely not the back side, but it'll do. What I'll have to do, I got the other side of it because I had stuff written on the other side of the chart, the calendar, but this is one of the things I kept. I had to refocus it because I missed some of it on that side, but it's a little calendar that's about actually like this big, and I just blew it up. Enlarged it so that you could see everything that's written on it. The other side had some writing on it, stuff about Monarch and stuff, but that's not the other side, that's just...
Who stole your diary?
When I got arrested, my mother remembers that my diaries were all sitting on my dresser.
Okay.
She had seen them, all the books and stuff I had on my dresser. And when the police arrested me the night I got arrested, they all disappeared. And they took a bunch of stuff. They took a bunch of stuff. They took some videotapes, which they had fun watching John Jakes, the Power Team. And
what was on the videotapes?
Just ministers and stuff like that.
Sex acts?
No.
Do you have any porno films there?
I didn't have any pornography at all. I'd never gotten into pornography, and I never...
These other people were into pornography, though. You told me before.
Well, yeah, they were into it, but I didn't get into it.
Okay, so the police have your diaries?
Well, I probably burned them by now.
Well, did you ask for them back?
They said they didn't have them. They gave one diary back, and that's when they were 2 months out of it. And that's because that diary my grandmother gave to them, so they knew that somebody in our family knew that they had them. The other ones, when I got arrested, the night I got arrested, they took the videotapes, they took pictures, like what you've seen already. That's the picture they took. Some of them were like from 1980 when I was 13 years old. Some of them were before that.
Which pictures now?
All of my photographs
Oh, there's pictures. Yeah, okay.
But all those
Oh, your
photographs
friends,
were
photographs of your friends.
photographs of my friends when I was growing up and stuff.
They
and
took
the police-
those?
They took all of them. They took a videotapes, which didn't have anything on them, anything bad stuff. They took the diaries, which they never said they took them. They took a antique movie camera that didn't even work, as far as I know, because we just got it the day before that, so nobody knew if it worked or not. An antique projector, an antique screen, and all this stuff. Nobody knows if it worked or not because it never got a chance to be messed with. And they took it was like an old little tiny package like that didn't have film in it. They asked me what they were going to find in the film. I said, well, probably nothing. There's nuts and bolts in the casing because I took the film out. I figured it's been sitting there for over 20 years. The film ain't no good. You know, because especially if it's been exposed to light several times. And
Right.
so they took all that. They gave all of it back except for the diaries.
Let her get it. She got it.
They're good.
And then did you say they denied that they ever had a diary?
They denied they ever had the diaries. The only one they gave back was the one my grandmother gave to them. That's because they knew it.
What did you have in the diaries?
I had written down. There it goes. It's on.
So,
Yeah.
okay, we're back. Handled my phone call. Nothing serious. It's a flood in Los Angeles. And this is a list that you compile from your various records in your diary, and from memory that were in your records and diary. And the police took your diary, never returned it, claimed they don't have it.
Yes, all
Now,
6 of them.
on this list, this is the what? What's that first column?
That's the number of times that I was with that person sexually or whatever.
The number of times that he's with each of these people sexually. These
Some of them I didn't write because it's
so many times.
just too.
I can tell because I recognize his first names. Second column, the name of the individual. Third column is the year. The fourth column is the town. And fifth column is identifying the group that each of them was involved with. So why don't you just go right down the list?
Okay.
Just start right over here. Just go right across and say who each one of those people is.
Okay. Walter Carlson was one of the first guys who sexually abused me.
How old were you?
I was, probably about 8, 9.
Okay, and who is he?
All I know is he was the first guy who started sexually abusing me.
Okay.
He got me involved with some other guys. That went on from about 76 till 1983. He was from Omaha. He was involved with his own. Second guy is on the list is Peter Citron.
You don't have any numbers there. Why? Because these
Well, those are because there were so many times that I
Okay.
can't put it down.
Peter Citron.
Peter Citron, I met him in 1979. I was at a Penny Park with some of my friends, and actually I was with my family and stuff, and he was with some of my friends who introduced me to him, and later on we went to some movies, and then he began having sexual activity with me.
How old were you?
I was probably 12. Right.
He's an adult, of course.
Yeah.
He's with the Omaha World Herald.
Yeah, he was with them. He was on TV as a critic. He did food critics. He did movie critics. He did just about everything.
Okay.
There was a critic. And I knew him from Omaha, and then he went to San Francisco for about 3 years, from about 81 till about 84. And I used to take trips out there once in a while. I met him on my own. I also seen him at parties with Alan Bear. Now the third person is a guy named Father Stan, or O'Malley. I don't know what his name is for sure. All I know is it's something like Malley or O'Malley. And he's from Omaha, and I met him in 1976 before I met before I met Walter Carlson, and it kind of went on once in a while.
How old were you?
Days. I was 8.
And what are those asterisks next to those three names for?
That they were some of the main ones.
Okay.
I don't really know what the asterisk is. I forgot.
You don't have any numbers as to the number of times there, so there were so many.
Yeah.
That in that column, so there were so many you couldn't count. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. The next person is Alan Bear, and I met him in 1979. It was August 4th or 5th because it was the first weekend right after my birthday, because my birthday's on August 3rd, and it was right after that. And I would have been turning 12 years old that year, so it was right after I turned 12 years old that I met him. And I'd met him before at a couple of parties with some guy named John Phillips, who was also on this list further down. In fact, on the next page, in fact. I was with him 2 times, but I think it was with him anyway. But anyway, this guy took me to a couple of parties and stuff where he introduced me to this guy, but at the time he never had anything to do with me until I was down the run with my friend Mike and met him that way. Next column is from town. I got that his address is 6724 Davenport. He had several phone numbers I remember. It was like 341-4777 and 5. I can't read it on here. 556-7898. And that's his home number that I remember calling several times. And that is 596. I can't read it. I don't think it's 596. I don't think that's the Omaha number. 556 is it. And next guy is Robert Andreessen. The only reason I don't have numbers next to Robert Andreessen is because
you don't have numbers
3 times. I don't have numbers by it, but it only happened 3 times with him. He was from Main Street in Ralston. That's where he lived at. And that went on a couple of times from about 77 to, well, what was it, 77 up till 83 or 84, I'm not sure. So I got away from Carlson's group. The next guy I got on here, his name is Sean or John Dell. It's actually Barks Dell was his name. He did something out of Boys Town. Met him in about 80, and he was involved with Alan Bear and Larry King and that whole group.
Alan Bear is the heir to the Brandeis fortune.
Yeah,
we've already explained that. How many times on him? The first call?
About 10 to 20 times.
Okay.
He was also the one that took me to parties and stuff. He was a black guy. Hanging around with Larry King a lot. Next guy is a guy named Dwayne or Dave, and I was with him about 5 to 10 times from about the same period, 80 to 85. I'm not sure about his name at all, but I know he operated a pool out at Boys Town. He was one of the pool operators. He cleaned it.
Oh, cleaned it, okay.
And was involved with the parties with Alan Bear and stuff. The next guy, 5 to 10 times, which actually should be updated to 50 to 100 times, although he won't ever admit it, but I met this guy in prison even, seen him in there.
Oh, was in prison just last...
Yeah.
Really?
He was kind of stuff, and he recognized me, and the funny thing was, I always thought, well, how did he recognize me and know all about me and stuff, and come up and start talking about the Franklin case stuff. You know, if all of a sudden I didn't have nothing to do with him, and he wouldn't admit, well, I don't remember you, like he kept saying, but it was Chuck Miller, and I knew him from about 81 till 83, and then I got away from him. And
is that the guy in prison?
Yeah, he lived on 30th in California in Omaha. And he was kind of involved by himself. He was kind of in a group all by himself. He didn't have a big group. I met him down on downtown area and stuff, and some of his other kids that he was messing around with.
These guys pay you to do this?
Bear did, and the people at his parties usually paid, like Barksdale and Dave and stuff usually paid me, and Chuck Miller, he took me places. They used to take a lot of trips, and that's easy to check on. They used to take a lot of kids out of the country and down to several different places that he took us to.
Okay. Keep going. What did they pay you?
Huh?
What did they pay you?
It depended. I'm embarrassed. Sometimes I'd get drugs, sometimes I'd get money. I'd get anywhere from $20 to several $1,000s for depending on what I had to do and how long I had to be there or whatever. It's like I went to some parties and got paid $5,000 just for going to it. Letting people do whatever they wanted to me.
Where would that be?
Well, when we took trips to California or took trips out of state, even some trips that we took to other towns like Des Moines and stuff, we'd get $1,000 or something. It was nothing.
5,000 on some occasions?
Yeah, 5,000 on some occasions. Like out in California, we went out there. We had to go on to Sunset Boulevard, which is near Beverly Hills. Which you got Beverly Hills is where the ladies hang out on. Right. Beverly Hills Boulevard, and then you got Sunset. What was it? Sunset Strip, or is it? What was the name of that street?
Santa Monica.
Yeah, Santa Monica Boulevard. Why was I thinking Sunset Strip? Santa
Well,
Monica
Sunset,
Boulevard.
you got Sunset Boulevard and then Santa Monica Boulevard.
Santa Monica Boulevard is where the teenage male prostitutes hang out at.
Right.
And that's where they used to send us, and we'd get kids for parties and stuff there. We'd take them back to the Beverly Hills Wilshire Hotel, or to the other one that's right there too, that they have another hotel that's there.
Bel Air?
Yeah.
Bel Air Country Club. Bel Air Hotel, Beverly Hills.
And then I remember one because when you walk in the door, there's like it's like you look through it on one side and you got something on the other side. It's like a big glass thing that's right on the thing, and you look through it and it kind of makes everybody else distort on the other side.
Yeah.
We used to have fun with that one. And when we go in there and stuff, sometimes the hotel manager of some of the restaurants, or not restaurants, but the hotels would make you kind of, when we went in there and stuff, they made sure that we were dressed up nice.
Yeah.
And we were always there with our uncle or with our parents on vacation. We were, especially at the Beverly Wilshire, the Regency.
Yeah.
You had to make sure that you were there on, because it's like they were high class. They had a restaurant there, but it was a high class hotel, and they made sure that most of them were like that. They made sure that you were, and they knew what was going on.
Sure they did.
When you're there with Larry King, and he has a 2-floor plaza, and he's got 90 kids going into his parties and stuff, and 20 adults, and
Would there be that many? 90 kids and 20 adults?
Probably about 20 kids and 10 adults, or sometimes it'd be 30 or 40 adults and 40 or 50 kids. And some of the places we went, they did that.
They male and female kids, or?
They had males and females, yeah. Some black, some white. They sent me out on the Santa Monica Boulevard a lot of times, to tell people, there's a party there and stuff, and you show up, you'll get, $500 just for showing up, which is more than they make out there on the streets anyway.
Yeah.
Usually they make 10, 15, 20 bucks, 50 bucks.
Did anybody worry about AIDS?
At that time, no. That was in the early 80s when that first started, because before AIDS came out with, it's like they'd make $500, and then that was a lot of money for that kind of business. But
Keep going down the list.
the next one is Rusty Nelson. He was a photographer. There's actually 2 Rusty Nelsons. I got another Nelson down here below. But
How many times for Rusty? First call.
5 to 10 times. I was from 81 to 86. He was a photographer. His address is 5035 Bedford Ave. Phone number is 556-6239. And he was from Bear and King. And his wife is named, Rusty and Dolores. Starts with a D. They used to be foster parents, which kind of fits right in with everything that they were doing. And he did photography for Larry King. He stayed there for a while and stuff. And when they were foster parents, the ironic thing was they weren't even married yet. They got married after they had the foster kids and everything. And yet they were still allowed to be foster parents. And okay, so the next person is William Thiessen, and it is the guy who owned the pizza place, and I had debate in my own head and stuff, and I wasn't 1,000% sure if it was or not, but now I am.
How many times?
10 to 20.
In Omaha?
From 79 to 85, yeah.
In Omaha?
In Omaha. And he was involved with Citron and Anderson and that group with Bear and stuff. Next guy I got on here should be actually 200 to 300 times that I've been with him, but I put on here and stuff 20 to 30, but that was how many trips I took out to New York and Boston, which was where he was from, was David Thorstad. And you're here from 78 to 86, and that was New York and Boston. I was involved with NAMBLA.
He was in NAMBLA?
Yeah, he was the founder of NAMBLA.
Oh yeah, David Thorstad?
Yeah. David, David, I know his middle name, but hold on. Tell something right now. I don't remember it.
How did Thorstad tie into these other people?
He got tied in with Carlson because he was associated with some people that Carlson knew and stuff. Some of Carlson's group was getting involved with NAMBLA because of what they did and what Carlson and them were doing. They agreed with this, so he got in contact with them and stuff. And David Thorstad came in and talked to him and stuff, and took a
He came in Omaha and talked to him on a lecture, or just talked to him?
He talked to them socially.
Uh-huh.
No, lecture. He talked to them socially and stuff. And he came in and stuff, and I was at the party that he was at and stuff, and a couple other. He had some kid that he brought with him, and he took a liking to me and this other kid that was there at the parties and stuff that Carlson had and stuff, and he told him that, he talked to us and stuff, and he decided that he wanted us to come out to his place and stuff once in a while.
Where did he live?
Out in New York or Boston. I'm not sure if he lived in New York or Boston. I know every time I went there, we went to either place. He had two places that he stayed at.
What does he do for a living?
He was a freelance photographer or journalist or something like that. And he took a lot of pictures. And I met him before NAMBLA ever formed. He was part of the Boise Committee, which was the Boston Boise Committee. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It was the group that NAMBLA came out of. I mean, I was involved with that before that and stuff. They got me in touch with a bunch of people all over the country. I mean, that's how I got involved with all these different guys. They provide the names to the kids. They would never provide kids' names to the adults until they got really into it. So much, in fact, that, it's like David Thorstein and stuff. They weren't dummies. I mean, it's like the only way they'd start providing names of kids to other men and stuff is if they knew that this guy was having sexual relations with children and stuff on a regular basis and was very active in it. Otherwise, they wouldn't, because they were afraid it might be an undercover thing. They don't want anybody to know that they actually do that kind of service for people.
You want to explain what NAMBLA is?
North American Man-Boy Love Association.
And you know anything about the organization?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
The organization is, they try and make look like they're doing things for kids' rights and stuff, children's rights and stuff, to make it. But what they're actually trying to do is destroy laws that prohibit men and children from having sexual relations with each other. That's their main and only purpose, really. They try and say, well, they're against all these things, and they got these things that state all their causes stuff. They have a magazine out that's called The Bulletin. They send it out every month, I guess. I don't receive it, so I think it's still being put out by them. And they kind of promote things that try and make it easier, or not easier, but try and pervert the rest of the world by saying, well, there's nothing wrong with sex between men and boys, or men and children, or women and children and stuff, and it's just...
Women in there too?
Yeah, they got some women involved with it.
Okay. Were you a member or anything?
I don't know if you could call me a member. I was a kid when I was growing up through it, but I was involved with them to the point where I'd march with them and stuff like that when I was like 13, 14 years old, not realizing myself what this was actually doing.
Where did you march with them?
We went to... It was an anti-nuclear demonstration in Washington, D.C.
Who's paying your expenses?
I don't know.
Would they just hand you a ticket and say, here it is? Or?
Well, no, they wouldn't hand me a ticket. They'd come and they'd pick me up. They'd have somebody pick me up every time. They wouldn't never send me alone. No, they didn't do it alone. I mean, I had to have somebody with me when I...
Because you were a young boy, huh?
Well, not because I was young. I mean, yeah, that's the thing about it. I had to have somebody with me, and yet I should have all rights to do whatever I want anytime I want to, but they just wanted me for the sex. They didn't want to let me run around on my own. I had to be protected still.
Yeah.
But they didn't realize it protected from them. I had a whole list of everything I did with them. In fact, I had one marked NAMBLA.
We can cover that later. I'll make a note.
But yeah, an anti-nuclear demonstration I was at. They started in December of 1978. That's where they had their meeting at.
We had to, that was the conclusion of tape 1. We're on tape 2, beginning of tape 2. We had to change locations because of conflict of schedule and other meetings that were scheduled at the other location. Anyway, Paul, come on back over here. Let's continue with your list here, Paul.
Okay. I was at David Thorstein. I was talking about some of the dates that Yeah, we got a better location now. We got the ocean. The bathroom.
Water pipes, yeah.
The bathroom is right there upstairs. Oh, I'll go anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
I saw my David Thorstad, and it's like it was December 2nd, 1978, that they had a meeting out in
Who's they?
New York.
Why don't you continue with that? Oh, once you're going to talk about NAMBLA? Okay, we were talking
Well,
about
I was
NAMBLA.
talking about David Thorstad and how
Right, okay.
I was on, how I met him.
So you're looking at your calendar there.
And I have kind of marked. It's kind of weird how I mark things. I don't put anything except for.
Will that take it there? Yeah.
I'll have to get a close up on it later. It's like I don't know how I even remember they were getting the marketing thing. They just got NAMBLA written there. That's when they formed NAMBLA, when they actually formed it.
What was the date on that again?
December 2nd, 1978.
Were you there?
Yeah.
When they
In the
formed
Boston
NAMBLA?
Church.
Huh?
It was in the Boston Church, yeah.
Remember the name of the church?
I got the name of it somewhere, but I have to think of it right now. Boston Community Church or something like that.
Who was there when they formed it?
David Thorstad, a couple of the guys that they became the steering members later on and stuff. I'm not exactly sure who was all there. I know David Thorstad was the main one there. I believe Andretti was there. Andrea, I think it's Andrea. He was a kind of a kid at the time, so Bill Andrea. And several other guys that were there also. I'm not sure exactly.
How many people were there?
Probably 1 to 2 dozen.
Where were they from?
Mainly from Boston. They used to be called the Boston Boise Committee, and then they changed them to becoming
Boston what committee?
Boise.
Boise, okay.
B-O-I-S-E.
Okay.